Okay, Hare Krishna, welcome to all the devotees to our Bhakti Sastri class. We shall start our class tonight by reciting the Mangalacharan prayers to invoke the auspiciousness. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Bande Ham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Sri Guru Vaishnavanacha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitamtam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitamsa Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bhundu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namoste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Okay, so today we are planning to cover text number 2 to 27. Yeah, hopefully we can cover within this 1.5 hour period. So before starting our discussion, I would like to hear from some of you, maybe 2 or 3 devotees, what we discussed in our previous discussion. You can raise your hands and share whatever point that you remember and your realization from the previous discussion. Yes, Anuradha Mataji.
We saw that Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna because he is his dear friend as well as devotee. Then we see, about to please the Lord. You mentioned that we should be merciful to every living entity, and we should be satisfied with whatever we have, whatever God has given us, and control over our senses. Living the life of simplicity with the 4 regulative principles, I think. And then we started with the first shloka of Bhagavad Gita, where in Kurukshetra, why Kurukshetra? Why do you say Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre? Why it took place in such a dharma place? Because the dharma had to win. Yeah, I think that's the gist of whatever we learned in the last class.
Very nice. Thank you so much. Okay, any other devotee? Yes, Rati Manjari Mataji.
Prabhuji, we also spoke about the 3 ways to by which we can please. One is the Santushti Daya, it was the first one was mercy, be merciful to everyone, compassion. Then Santushti, be always be satisfied, and then the sense control, control over senses. So that was, I'm just adding on to what Anuradha Mataji very nicely put up. She has summarized everything. So just one more point I have added to it.
Thank you so much. Yes, actually, she already mentioned that point also. But thank you so much for your contribution. Okay, thank you. So, anybody still remember what is the significance of the word mamakaha that Dhritarashtra mentioned in the first verse? This is very important. Yeah, we should not forget this point. Anybody would like to respond to that? Yes, Anuradha Mataji.
Yeah, so first, Dhritarashtra mentions although he's supposed to say Pandu is also his own family, but he does not consider the Pandavas as his family. So he says first my kids, and then he says about Pandu and his kids.
Yes, yes, very nice. Okay, very good. So yeah, so now we will continue our discussion on this first chapter. Yeah, in the beginning we will see Duryodhana's diplomacy. Yeah, let's start here. Text number 2. Okay, just a minute. Okay, text number 2. Sanjaya said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the son of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. Okay. It's quite a bit technical here with this PowerPoint. I have to just tolerate this for a moment. Yeah. So here is the first response by Sanjaya to the query of Maharaj Dhritarashtra. So he mentioned here, Acharyam Upasangamya Raja Vachanam Abravit. So here Duryodhana was not a king. Yeah, but why Sanjaya addressed him as a king in this verse? Yeah, Raja Vachanam Abravit. So now King Duryodhana approaching the Acharya, yeah, the Dronacharya, yeah, the Acharya, and then he will speak the following word, meaning the next verse. But before we move to the next verse, please contemplate this. The word Raja here refers to Duryodhana, but actually he was not a king. But why Sanjaya is addressing Duryodhana as a king here? Anybody would like to respond to that? Yes, Anuradha Mataji.
Considering that he's talking to Dhritarashtra, who wants his sons to be referred to as king, he's mentioning him as king.
Yes, yes. Thank you. That's the answer. Yeah, because Sanjaya understands the heart of his master. Yeah, that he wants, actually, that Dhritarashtra wants Yudhishthira to be the next king. So although he's still a prince, yeah, but Sanjaya addressed Duryodhana as a king. Yeah, Raja Vachana Mahabravit. He will say something to the Acharya, yeah, to his guru. So the following words. Yes, Pulina Vihari, Hari Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Pranam.
Prabhuji, like I know it's a more significant word in the second sloka. Actually, it mentioned that Duryodhana is like is very good at Rajanidhi, and he's good at politics actually in terms of because his Acharya was like quite taught him that actually like what is the diplomacy and how to already having he's got a kind of skill which is very relevant to king. So that's the one other aspect actually. That's what I see.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Yes, that's also another aspect. Thank you so much, Pulina Vihari Prabhu. Yes, Duryodhana is very diplomatic person. Yeah, he is very smart. He is very clever. But here's the thing, he is cunning. Yeah, he's very cunning, like his uncle also, Sakuni. Yeah. Yes, so that's the reason. Very nice. Text number 3. Yeah, Vyudam Drupada Putrena Tavasisena Dimata. So here, actually, Duryodhana mentioned to Dronacharya that look at your disciple. Yeah, Drupada Putrena. He is referring to the son of Drupada. Yeah, to Dristajumna. Okay, so there is a lecture by Srila Prabhupada where he mentioned he has learned the military science from you just to kill you. Dimata Tawasichena, your disciple, he has arranged. This is the pointing out so that he may be angry. This rascal has learned from me and he wants to kill me. Yeah. So Duryodhana, he approached actually Dronacharya because Duryodhana understand that Dronacharya is still keeping the affection toward the Pandava. Yeah. But here Duryodhana, he wanted to point out his mistake that actually he trained Dristajumna, who is actually the son of his enemy. Yeah. Maharaj Drupada was actually the best friend of Dronacharya when they were studied together in the Gurukul. Yeah. And then there was a long story, of course, that one day in Gurukul, Drupada said to Dronacharya that one day if I become a king, so Drupada was a prince at that time. So he told his friend Drona that one day if I become a king, you don't worry, whatever you need, you can ask from me and I shall give half of my kingdom to you. That was his promise. Of course, it's kind of a child promise, whatever it is. And then when they grew up, graduated from the Gurukul, so Drona remained a poor, simple Brahmana, and Drupada became a king. So one day Aswatthama, so it is described that he never tasted cow milk in his life. He just drink this water when his mother about to cook the rice. So she rinsed the rice, so the color of the water becomes white. So that what Aswatthama used to drink. And then his friend told him that actually that is not milk. And then he cried, of course. He approached his father, he wanted milk. And then Drona remembered the promise of his friend, Drupada. So he went to the kingdom of Drupada. And then he's asking the king, my dear king, do you still remember? You promised me that you will give half of your kingdom, but now I'm not asking for that half of kingdom. I just want a cow because my son is crying for milk. And then Drona, because of, he is a king, Drupada, he was a king. And at that time, he was sitting in the court along with his ministers. It's kind of a bit humiliating in one sense, because this poor Brahmana just came like a beggar, addressing him as a friend. And then Drupada said, friends, we are not on the same level. We cannot be friends. Then Drona became offended. So the enmity started there actually. And then finally Drona trained the Kauravas and the Pandavas, And then after the study, of course, the Guru asking for the Guru Dakshina. And then Drona said that whoever can catch Drupada, tie him, drag like an animal, that will be my best disciple. That's the only Guru Dakshina that I want. And then, of course, Duryodhana came forward. He said that Gurudev, I'll try first. Then they tried, got defeated. And then finally Arjun came to Panchala and then defeated the king. Tied Drupada, who is actually will be his father-in-law in the future, tie him, drag him like an animal, brought him to the front of Drona. And then Drona said, now you are defeated, I take half of your kingdom, and then he released him. Now for Kshatriya, better to die rather than being defeated. So Drupada became offended, and then he performed a sacrifice. He was asking the Lord that may a powerful son appear from the sacrifice who will be able to kill Drona in the future. And finally, Draupadi appear. Another name of Draupadi is Krishna. Yeah, because she has the same bodily complexion with Krishna. So Draupadi appear along with Dristajumna. So now Drupada sent his son when he is already on the age that he should study. So he sent to Drona. He sent to Drona, and Drona cannot refuse, although he know that this boy in the future will kill me. But because he is a liberal Brahmana, so a Brahmana should not reject a qualified candidate disciples. So Drona accepted. That mistake was pointed out by Duryodhana here, that why did you train this boy, Dristajumna? Now he's the chief commander of the army. He arranged all the military phalanx, by which actually they can become so powerful. So that mistake, Tawa Sisyena, look at your disciple, Tawa Sisyena. Dimata, Tawa Sisyena Dimata. That's your mistake. You train the person who will kill you. Yeah. So Duryodhana tried to invoke Drona's, anger in one way here. Yeah. And text 4 to 6, we see in these verses that Duryodhana was listing the heroes in the opposite party. Yeah. And then in text 7, Duryodhana said, but for your information, O bears of the Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. Text 8, there are personalities like you, Bhisma, Karna, Kripa, Aswatthama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Burishrava, who are always victorious in battle. So in this way, actually, Drona, he's trying to encourage, Duryodhana tried to encourage Dronacharya. Okay, so even here in this section, Duryodhana mentioned that when he was mentioning the armies, the great generals, the Kshatriyas in the opposite party, he mentioned that their army is protected by Bhima, whose power is limited. But in our side, we have grandfather Bhisma, who's so powerful. But here in text number 8, we find that Duryodhana mentioned Bhavan Bhisma. So he mentioned first Dronacharya, you. Normally in Sanskrit, we say you is like Tuam. But here, Duryodhana is using the word Bhavam. Bhavam and then Bhisma. So now the question is that amongst all these Kshatriyas, grandfather Bhisma considered to be most senior and most powerful. But why Duryodhana mentioning Dronacharya in the first place? Will that considered to be offensive against Bhisma? Because he's the senior most among the assembly. And he's most powerful. Yes, Anuradha Mataji.
Because he is dear to the Pandavas. And
well, Bhisma also, grandfather Bhisma also very dear to the Pandavas. Anyway, thank you for your contribution. Let's hear from another devotees. Bhavya Mataji.
Is the Kauravas and Pandavas, Prabhu?
Sorry, say again. Your voice was
The
breaking.
Kauravas and Pandavas. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, please say again.
He is the Guru of Pandava and Kauravas. They give importance to Dronacharya first, Prabhu.
Okay, because he is the guru of Kaurava and Pandava. Okay, that's also a nice point. Who else here? Rasa Sindhu Giridhari Prabhu. I saw your hand was up since the beginning. Either you want to contribute on this point?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, not on this point. I had a question on.
Okay,
text.
wait a moment. Yeah, wait a
I'll
moment.
come back. Yes.
Yeah, we'll get back to you. Okay. Vilina Vihari Prabhu, you raised your hands earlier.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The same thing point which Mataji said, actually, the
Okay.
Bhavya Mataji. Actually, that's the reason, actually.
All right.
He is a guru of, so he approached Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Okay. So thank you so much for the contribution. Now you can lower your hands. So the explanation is that because although Bhishma considered to be the senior most here and most powerful among the assembly, yeah, but why Duryodhana approaching Drona by mentioning his name or by saying you in a very polite way, Bhavam Bhishma Virat. So it is described that because Drona is a Brahmana and Bhishma is Kshatriya. So according to the Varna, so Drona is considered to be higher because he is a Brahmana. And in this way, actually, he doesn't offend grandfather Bhishma because Kshatriya will always subordinate to a Brahmana. Yeah. So that's the point. Other point here. Yeah. Personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Aswatthama, Vikarna. Okay. Karna is very powerful. Yeah. And then Kripa, of course, powerful. Aswatthama, the son of Drona. And then Vikarna. Why the name of Vikarna also mentioned here? Vikarna is one of the brothers of Duryodhana, but he is not very powerful Kshatriya. He is not very skillful Kshatriya. The reason why Duryodhana mentioned the name of Vikarna, because it is described in the Mahabharata that the only person who raised the voice when Dursasana dragged the hair of Draupadi was Vikarna. So Vikarna complained actually. He raised his voice. So why Duryodhana mentioned his name? So in order Vikarna would hear that, oh, my brother is considering me. Yeah, my brother is considering me to be also in the same category of these Kshatriyas in which he mentioned here. Because before the battle started, actually, Yudhishthira Maharaj announced that anybody from my side who wants to change their mind, if you want to go to the opposite party, you can go. And from the other side, if you want to join my army, now you can do it. So in this way, Duryodhana, he was afraid that Vikarna will change his mind and go to Yudhishthira's party. Therefore, he mentioned, although Vikarna is not so powerful Kshatriya. Yeah, this is, we see like how clever Duryodhana was. Yes, let's go to the question. Rasa Sindhu Giridhari Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Dandar.
Yes.
Prabhu, the question is on text 3, where we talked about the Brahminical quality of Dronacharya in accepting Drishtadyumna as his disciple. Now, I want to understand, Prabhu, the practical application of such a quality in today's world. Now, we may also face similar situations where, we may have conflict with family members, we may have conflict with our colleagues and peers, and may not be an inimical approach or inimical situation which Dronacharya and Drupada were facing, but much milder, lower level of such situations we all face in our life. So how do we handle or portray such qualities, or does it become too submissive in today's competitive, challenging world that we are in?
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your question. This is, I would say, this is the $1 million question of the night. Well, practically speaking, now hardly we find a Brahmana real qualified Brahmana. Yeah, a liberal Brahmana. Kalau Sudra Sambhava, everybody in Kali Yuga is born Sudra. Yeah. So unless also we get a proper training from the very day of our life, it's difficult to become a Brahmana, really. Hardly we find, honestly speaking. You know, what are the qualifications, the qualities of the Brahmana? Samodama tapasaucham santirajam evacham jnanam vijnanam astikyam brahma karma swabhavajam. So we will see this in the 18th chapter later, toward the end of the Bhagavad Gita. But in a glance, answering to that, to your query, is that, well, that's the sad aspect that we can see from the world today, because you are asking very practical questions. So my response will be, hardly we find Brahmana in Kali Yuga, especially in the 21st century. Hardly. Then, how to assimilate this kind of situation, being liberal is not at all easy. Yeah. So I have no further comment on that, because honestly speaking, hardly we find qualified Brahmana nowadays. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Sure, Prabhu.
Yeah, but of course, we as practicing devotees, we try also to develop the Brahmanical qualities, because it's actually help us to advance in Krishna consciousness. Like Brahmana is always situated in the modes of goodness, sattva guna. Yeah, so always being clean, for example, being soft-hearted, being clean, and not lazy. Yeah. So this is Brahmanical qualities. Yeah. So the practical example is that waking up early in the morning. This is actually the quality of a Brahmana, that he always never miss the Brahma Muhurta time. Yeah. So this is just simple aspect of Brahmanical life. Doing puja or worship in the morning on a regular basis. This is Brahmanical culture. Yeah. So if we can maintain this standard of being clean, also being honest, but hardly, yeah. But that's the hope actually. That is an explanation that, what is that verse that Prahlad Maharaj mentioned? Those who devoted toward the Lord, she will automatically develop the good qualities of the demigods. Anyway, I forgot how it started. But that's the thing. We as practicing devotees, at the same time also, although it is described that these good qualities will manifest automatically, but we have to put on some endeavor also to develop these qualities. Yeah. But of course, the goal of life is not to become a Brahmana. We just want to be servant of the Lord and his devotees. That's it. But being a Brahmana is also another advantage, another great advantage into our Krishna consciousness life. Okay, let's just leave it aside. That's another topic to be discussed. Is that all right, Rasa Sindhu Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Sure, Prabhu.
Okay, nice. Okay. So in this way, Duryodhana is encouraging Dronacharya without offending Bhishma. Yeah. Text number 9. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science. Text number 10 and 11. Yeah. So here, Duryodhana solves the problem of encouraging Dronacharya without insulting Bhishma and others. So he mentioned here, Bhalam Bhishma Viraksitam. Duryodhana mentioned here, we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma. You see, Duryodhana is acknowledging here the power of Bhishma. Yeah. Therefore, he mentioned that we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma in text number 10. Bhalam Bhishma Girakshitam. And then in text number 11, Duryodhana mentioned, all of you must now give full support to grandfather Bhishma. So now, after saying like this, we are now completely protected by Bhishma. And then other Kshatriyas, this is the explanation here. Other Kshatriyas will think, okay, then what is the use of our existence here, our presence here, if there is only Bhishma enough to protect him? And therefore, Duryodhana's mind clicked immediately. And then in the text 11, he mentioned, now all of you should give support to grandfather Bhishma. The explanation is that because although he's so powerful, but he's an old man, you have to support him also. So in this way, he's encouraging also another Kshatriyas. Otherwise, the other Kshatriyas may feel like, oh, we are useless, then let's go home. No need to fight. Yeah. Purport. Duryodhana clearly felt that the victory of the Kurus depend on the presence of Bhismadev. He was confident of the full support of Bhismadev and Dronacharya in the battle because he well knew that they did not even speak a word when Arjuna's wife, Draupadi, in her helpless condition, had appealed to them for justice while she was being forced to appear naked in the presence of all the great generals in the assembly. Yeah. So Duryodhana, he was like really convinced, confident that grandfather Bhishma and Dronacharya, both these great general, will give him full support. But of course, we will see later on that actually they are not very serious in fighting because both of them very dear to the Pandavas, especially Arjun. Arjun was the favorite disciple of Drona and the favorite grandson of Bhismadev, Arjun. This is Srila Prabhupada's lecture. Prabhupada said, somebody was criticizing me that Swamiji, you are introducing this Hare Krishna movement. People are becoming cowards. They simply chant Hare Krishna. So I replied that you will see the power of Hare Krishna movement in due course of time. He required, because there were two battles in India. The battles between Ravana and Ram, Ram, Ravana, the battle of Ramayan, and another battle was battle of Kurukshetra. And in these two battles, the heroes was Vaisnava and Vishnu. In the Ram-Ravana battle, Lord Ramachandra was there and his devotee Hanuman, Vajrangaji. Similarly, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna was there and his devotee Arjuna was there. So Vaisnavas, they do not simply chant Hare Krishna. If there is a need, they can fight under the guidance of Vishnu and become victorious. Yeah. So of course, we as devotees, we are soft and non-violent. But if there is a need to fight, so we have to fight. Yeah. Okay. We have to fight. Yeah. For example, the recent incidents in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, when the party from Chankasi, broke the mridanga of Lord Chaitanya's Harinam party, in Sriva's house. So all the devotees took the, what do you call this, fire torch, and then thousands of devotees they performed the Harinam Sankirtan, bringing this fire, went to Chankasi's house, and they want to burn him alive in his house. So when there is a need of fighting, so we have to fight also. We are not a coward. We are not a coward. Like here, the incidents of our ISKCON Mayapur temple, that how the deity of Srimati Radharani was stolen, by some dacoits. So at that time, there were some dacoits. They thought that this murti made of gold. Yeah, the murti made of gold. So it was in the middle of night. So they came and they attacked the temple. And then, yes, the devotees also start fighting back. So His Holiness Bhakti Swami at the time before he took sannyas, so he fight back these dacoits, and then one of them just threw a bomb into his leg, and then he lost one of his legs. Yeah. So when there is a need of fighting, we as devotees, we have to fight back also in order to, protect the righteous. That's the principle. Prabhupada gave the example of Hanuman. Yeah, there is no violence. Yeah, there is no violence. But when it is required, you must. And then text number 12. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his counsel very loudly, making sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. Purport: the grandsire of the Kuru dynasty could understand the inner meaning of the heart of his grandson Duryodhana, and out of his natural compassion for him, he tried to cheer him by blowing his counsels very loudly, befitting his position as a lion. Indirectly, by the symbolisms of the counsel, he informed his depressed grandson Duryodhana that he had no chance of victory in the battle, because the Supreme Lord Krishna was on the other side, but still it was his duty to conduct the fight, and no pains would be spared in that connection. Yeah. So Bhishma is just want to entertain Duryodhana here. Yeah. He took his Sankha and he blew it. So Duryodhana becomes happy. Now my grandfather Bhishma is ready to fight. But actually this Sankha, because Sankha is one of the attributes held by Lord Vishnu. So inside his heart, Bhishma is thinking, there's no chance for you to win, because this Sankha is the symbol of the Lord. It's actually, I'm blowing this for the victory of the Lord. Yeah. For the victory of the Lord, not for your victory. Text 13. After that, the counsels, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. Yeah. So up to this point, that we have seen how actually Duryodhana was so diplomatic. Yeah. He is very clever. He solved the problem by encouraging all the Kshatriyas without offending anybody. Yeah. So that's first. That's why actually this chapter, the original title of the chapter is Arjuna Visada Yoga, the yoga of Arjuna's lamentation. But why is the Prabhupada give the title of observing armies in the battlefield of Kurukshetra? Because that was the first scene shown in this chapter. Yeah. So this is the observation, like Duryodhana's diplomacy. Okay. And then next we will observe that the signs of the Pandavas' victory. And then after that, Arjuna will be giving his reasons of not fighting. Yeah. And it continues to chapter 2. Okay. Up to this point, are there any questions or comments? Please. If there is no, we continue. Okay, Rasa Sindhu Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, we hear about, in the purport, that Bhishma stays quiet and during the episode of gambling and when Draupadi is being humiliated.
Right.
Now, we also learned that Bhishma Pitama is one of the 12 Mahajanas.
Mahajans.
So, being a Mahajana, now he's a very pious, very senior devotee of the Lord, very authoritative devotee of the Lord. But unlike the other Mahajanas, when we see Prahlad Maharaj is also Mahajana. But he even goes against his own father to establish the principle. Whereas Bhishma Pitama is more accepting or being submissive to even the wrong that's happening.
Right.
So how do we take this contradiction as an application?
Thank you. Actually, I anticipated these questions. Yeah. Thank you so much. And even in like almost all the Bhakti Sastri groups that I taught, they asked this question: how can Bhishma, he's a great devotee of the Lord, but we see in the purport that he didn't speak even a word. So there are a few reasons. First of all, the first reason is that because he was fed by the crooked-minded Duryodhana, so his blood, his mind is contaminated. Yeah. Visayara anakaile dusta hayaman mana dusta haile nahi krishnera smaran. Chaitanya Charitamrita mentioned Visayara anakaile. One should not accept food offered by the Visayi. Visayi means materialistic person. Yeah. Visayara anakaile dusta hayaman. The mind becomes crooked. Mana dusta haile nahi krishnera smaran. When the mind becomes contaminated, becomes crooked, we cannot think about Krishna. So that's happened in the life of Bhismadev. Although he's a great devotee, he was fed by Duryodhana. Therefore, he couldn't say even a word because, first of all, his mind, his blood is contaminated. But later on, after his body was being pierced by thousands of arrows and he was laying down on the bed of arrows before his death. So all this contaminated blood just came out, and then he was able to speak about the Rajaniti, Varnashram. We find that his instruction in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, that's first thing. Second, of course, this is the plan of the Lord. Yeah. Why Bhisma is taking the wrong side? No, don't judge him wrongly. First of all, he's supposed to be the king of Hastinapur, right? But Satyavati, the wife of Santanu, his father, of course, this is like, again, we have to come back to the history of Mahabharata, okay? Bhisma is the son of Ganga Devi, the union between Ganga and Santanu Maharaj. And then after this conflict happened, and then Ganga left, okay, only Bhisma remained. So he was to be the next king. And then Santanu fell in love to Satyavati. And then when Santanu proposed to get her married, she said that, what's the point I'm getting you married? Because you already get a son. My son will not be the next king. Bhisma will be the next king. And then Santanu revealed his mind to Bhisma. And then Bhisma said, okay, I take a vow that first of all, I will not get married. That's Bhisma means terrible vow. His name was Devavrata. And then when he took this vow of becoming celibate entire life, the whole demigods shower flowers on him. They play all the musical instruments. And they give him name Bhisma. Bhisma means terrible vow. To become celibate entire life is very difficult in this age especially. Okay, and then he took another vow that I shall not become a king, but the son of Satyavati will become a king, and I take a vow, whoever become the king of Hastinapur, I shall protect. This is his vow. Yeah. Therefore, he's not taking the right side or wrong side. He just stick on his vow. This is the vow of a Kshatriya. When a Kshatriya giving a vow, it should be fulfilled. It is better for a Kshatriya to die rather than breaking his vow. Yeah. It is a humiliating situation if a Kshatriya breaks his vow or breaks his promise. So he's not taking right side, wrong side. He's just protecting the king of Hastinapur because that is his promise to his father. Okay. And then another reason is that he's a great devotee, but as Sri Rupa Goswami explained that there are 12 rasas. We will study this in Nectar of Devotion. Just briefly, I'm touching it. There are 5 preliminary rasa and there are 7 secondary rasa. Yeah. So the rasa that Bhishma has is called the Virya rasa, the fighting mood. So the Lord wants to fight with Bhishma. Therefore, the Lord, through his Yogamaya potency, arranged in such a way that Bhishma remained in the other side. Yeah. So now Krishna and Bhishma will get the chance to fight. This is called Virya Rasa. And then it is described in the battlefield of Kurukshetra that when Bhishma's arrow was piercing Lord Krishna's chest and Lord Krishna's chest was bleeding, Srila Viswanatha Chakravarti Thakur commenting on this incident that Lord Krishna was feeling so blissful. That arrow that piercing his chest, it is described just like you throw a very soft rose petal into the body of elephant. Yeah, this is Virya Rasa. Externally they are fighting, but internally they are in love. This is the mystery of the Lord's pastimes that sometimes we cannot understand unless we hear from, our previous acharyas, their explanation. Yeah. So this is the reason why Bhishma remained in the Kaurava side. Yeah. It is not that he doesn't know who is right, who is wrong. He knows, but he stick to his vow. And then secondly, this is the rasa that he has with the Lord. So he's serving the Lord in that way. Yeah. So he's pleasing the Lord. The main objective here is that Samsirir Haritosanam, to please Lord Hari. Yeah. So if you can please Lord Krishna by fighting against him, why not? Yeah. Why not? Jaya and Vijaya was cursed. Again, I'm going to another pastimes. Yeah. It's always one pastime coming after another. So Jaya and Vijaya was cursed by Chaturkumara. And then when this, fight was going on, and then the Lord appeared and then pacified both parties, the Kumaras and Jaya Vijaya. And Lord Vishnu said, all these are my arrangement because now I feel my hand is itching. I want to fight. But here in Vaikuntha, nobody wants to fight me. Therefore, Jaya and Vijaya, you have to come down. You should become the Rakshasa, the Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Hiranyaksa, like this. You should come down. And why you are the chosen people, you two brothers? Because in the material world, nobody can compete with me. None of those souls can compete with my power. Only you, my great guardians, gatekeeper, can fight with me. Almost equal in power. Therefore, I chose you. Yeah, we see in the pastime of Lord Varaha in the 3rd canto, Varaha was fighting with Hiranyaksa. It took like years because the Lord's hand is itching. He wants to fight with, like mock fighting, of course. But when it comes to the material world, it looks like serious fight. But internally, they are in love. So that's the explanation. Yeah, he is a great devotee. His main objective is to please Krishna. He can please Krishna by piercing Krishna's chest with arrows. That's it. Finish. Service is done. Is that answering your question, Prabhu? Rasa Sindhu, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Actually, the reference you gave from Chaitanya Charitamrita, actually, of course, I've read it in different contexts, but now connecting it with this context makes a lot of sense, and was something which we also face in our day-to-day lives, and certain decisions and actions that get, that manifest are a very direct reference to this shloka from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Thank you so much for very enlightening that shloka was.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All right. Okay, so now we will see the next session is that from 14 to 20. Yeah. Sanjay described various signs of victory for the Pandavas' army, especially the transcendental sound of the concells of Krishna and Arjuna, which shattered the hearts of the son of Dhritarashtra. Yeah. So from text 14 to 20, we will see there are 4 signs of the Pandavas' victory. Yeah. In text 14, we will see there are 3 signs. First here is that Divya Sankau Pradharmatugu, transcendental concept. Yeah. Lord Krishna's cons, the Panchajanya. And then Madhava, Lord Krishna himself, the husband of the goddess of fortune. You see, wherever there is Krishna, Lakshmi will be there. Wherever there is Lakshmi, victory shall be there. Yeah. Auspiciousness. And then the chariot donated by Agni. Yeah. Purport, Jayast Panduputranam Yesam Pakshe Janardana. Victory is always with persons like the sons of Pandu, because Lord Krishna is associated with them. And whenever and wherever the Lord is present, the goddess of fortune is also there, because the goddess of fortune never lives alone without her husband. Okay, so there are 3 signs of the victories of the Pandavas we see in the 14th chapter. 14th verse. Yeah, the Sankha, transcendental Sankha, and then Lord Krishna himself, Madhava, yeah, the husband of goddess of fortune, and chariot donated by Agni. Yeah, there is a pastimes, of course, about this special chariot that Arjuna is riding here. So one day, anybody have heard this pastime, how Arjuna got the chariot from Agni? Okay. So now I shall narrate story before you sleep. You know, like my mother used to narrate some pastimes of the Lord Krishna before I sleep. So one day, Agni, he was approaching Lord Krishna, that Agni was ill. You know, he needs some herbs from the, what is the name of that forest? Dandakaranya forest. Yeah. So Agni was ill and he needs to eat some herbs, some medicine from this forest. You know, but whenever Agni tried to devour this forest, meaning that he has to burn this forest. So there is this Taksaka was residing, and also one of the demon. I forgot that demon's name. So Taksaka is actually the friend of Indra. So when Agni comes, he wants to burn the forest. So Taksaka approached Indra that please protect me. So when Agni tried to burn the forest, Indra showers rains. So he cannot get the herbs that he wanted. And then he approached one day when Arjuna came, and Krishna also went to this forest for hunting. So Agni came saying that here is my problem, please help me to solve the problem. And then Arjuna said, this is my bow, very powerful bow. Now you can devour this forest, and then I shall protect you in 10 directions. And then Agni started burning the forest. And finally, this demon also got burned, of course. And then Taksaka, he approached Indra. Indra wanted to shower rain, and Arjuna has arrows by which he can contract the rains. And then, you know, father and son, finally, they are fighting, and Indra got defeated by Arjuna. And then Agni was so pleased. And then Agni donated this chariot. And then this chariot that Agni donated to Arjuna, he mentioned that this chariot Wherever you drive this chariot, it will conquer the whole direction. One day, Arjuna, you will need it. Yeah. So that's the pastimes, how Arjuna got this chariot. Yeah. By helping Agni to devour this forest. Yeah. So Agni get cured. At the same time, this demon who resides in the forest also got killed. So both job was done. Yeah. So these are the 3 signs that we find in text number 14. Okay. Text number 15. Panchajanyam Rishikeso Devadatam Dhananjaya Pandram Dadmau Mahasankam Bhima Karma Vrikodara. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his, the Devadatta, and Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shells called Pondra. Yeah, so before we go to this next verses, I highlighted here these names. Yeah, Krishna is addressed here as Rishikesa, Arjun here addressed as Dhananjaya, and Bhima is addressed here as Vrikodara. Okay, who would like to comment here? What are the meaning of these names? Rishikesa, let's go first with Rishikesa. What does Rishikesa means? Bhavya Mataji.
Rishikesha means the controller of the senses, Prabhu.
Very nice. Yes, thank you. So Lord Krishna is the master of the senses. Yeah. Rishikena Rishikesa Sevana Bhakti Ruchate. If we utilize our senses in the service of the master of the senses, yeah, Rishikesh. So that is called Bhakti. Yeah. And then Gudakesa, the word Gudakesa. What does Gudakesa mean? Anuradha Mataji.
He didn't sleep for so many years, I think. He can stay awake, basically. Gudakesha.
Yes, Gudakesha. Thank you. Gudakesha means one who control his sleep. Yeah, one who control his sleep. There are, of course, big debates amongst our devotee community that how many hours we should sleep a day. Yeah, in one of Srila Prabhupada's purport in the Bhagavad Gita, we will find it later, that Prabhupada mentioned a healthy person in the normal condition, you should not sleep more than 6 hours a day. But I have read long time ago in 2012, I think, a magazine, Back to Godhead. The title is that if you sleep more than 7 hours a day, you are considered to be swallowed by the phyton, by the snake of time. Yeah, Kala Chakra will defeat you. So like 6 hours or 7 hours. Yeah, but of course, this is not an absolute statement. Yeah, different person has his or her needs differently. Now, for example, a sick person needs maybe a longer rest. Baby needs 20 hours of sleeping, for example. Yeah, you cannot say that, oh, baby, you are in Maya, you're sleeping too much. No, but this is for a young, healthy person, you know, that 6-7 hours is actually enough. And in fact, if you sleep too long, it will give you a headache, really. You will feel that your head is heavy when you sleep too long. When you sleep too less also, you will become sick. Yeah. So 6 to 7 hours is actually enough to rejuvenate the body. Okay. Gudakesa means one who can control his sleep. That means Arjuna can control his material desire. Just sleeping is enjoyment, right? Sleeping is enjoyment. Before become a devotee, when we sleep, we always say, I'm going to sleep. But after become a devotee, we say, I'm going to take rest. This term is changed, you know. Even we never use this word, before becoming devotee, we never use this word sense gratification. Never. We never heard even. We never talk about sense gratification, yet we do it. After becoming devotee, then we understand, oh yes, sense gratification. Yeah, okay. Gudakesa means one who can control his sleep. Yeah, meaning he can control his senses, Arjun. And then Vrikodara. No, wait. It's not Gudakesa here. Is it Gudakesa? No, it's Dhananjaya.
Dhananjaya.
Yes, Dhananjaya. How come I mixed up? Gudakesa is in another verse. Anyway, my Kali Yuga brain. Okay, Dhananjaya. What does it mean, Dhananjaya? Arjuna's address here is Dhananjaya.
The one who brings wealth.
Okay, thank you, Jayakumar. Please raise your hands next time before contributing. That's fine. Yes, Dhananjaya means one who victorious in wealth. Yeah, Dhananjaya. There is a beautiful pastime in the Mahabharata. Why Arjuna is called Dhananjaya? Here is a pastime. So when Yudhishthira Maharaj, he wanted to perform the Rajasuya sacrifice. So Rajasuya sacrifice, meaning that great yagya, that you have to give a lot of charity. A lot of charity. It is described that when Yudhishthira Maharaj was performing this Rajasuya yagya, so in his kingdom in Indraprastha, he has like 1,000 prasadam hall, big prasadam hall, big prasadam hall. And then he was inviting millions of brahmana, he feed all of them. And then he gave cows in charity. And he served each brahmana prasadam using golden plate. After the brahmana eats, they can take the plate home. Yeah. So for this kind of Vaisnava seva, he needs a lot of wealth. Yeah. It is described that when one batch of brahmana entering the prasadam hall, so the servant blew the conch. Okay. And then after they finish, another conch will blow. That means another batch of brahmana can enter. And then it is described that the conch constantly blowing. Constantly blowing. That means the prasadam seva was non-stop. How many golden plate was donated, we don't know. Okay. And then at one point, the plate is finished. The gold is finished. Now what to do? Yudhishthira Maharaj approached all his four brothers and sent them to different directions to conquer the world, to collect wealth, for this sacrifice. And then who collecting the most wealth is Arjuna. Here is the story that when all of these brothers came, actually, it's still not enough to do this Vaisnava Seva. And then Arjuna approached Lord Krishna. What to do now? What to do? If this Brahmana is not satisfied, they will give us curse. Here's the thing. When Brahmana is pleased, they will give you blessing. But when they are not satisfied, they will give you a curse. And then Krishna said, okay, I'll take you to one place. And then they went to one place. And then this place was actually the place of their ancestor. Yeah, the Kuru's ancestor. That actually in the previous yugas, their ancestor was eating every day using golden plate, and just after that, throw the plate like that. So Lord Krishna asked Arjuna, when they reached that spot, now please dig the ground. Arjuna said, why should I dig the ground? Just dig the ground. And then when Arjuna dig the ground, he found these mountains of golden plates, millions of them, because every day they are eating and throw it, just like garbage for them. But now he found the treasure, and then Arjuna brought the whole plate, the golden plate, to his brother, and that was enough for all the brahmanas. Therefore, amongst all the brothers, Arjuna was victorious in collecting wealth. Therefore, his name is Dhananjaya. Yeah, nice pastimes. And then Vrikodara, Bhima. What does it mean? Vrikodara. Anuradha Mataji.
A very big appetite. He keeps eating a lot.
He eats a lot, yes. Vriko, Udhara. Udhara means belly, yeah, stomach. That means there is this fire. His digestion fire, Bhima's digestion fire is so strong that he can eat any amounts of food. It is described that when they were exiles in the forest, after the gambling match, they lost, and then they had to be in the forest for 13 years. It is described that whatever food that Mother Kunti give to all these Pandavas, so these 4 brothers, except Bhima, so half of their food is given to Bhima, because Mother Kunti was observing, and all the brothers also observing, when they divide the food equally, Bhima still feel like, oh, I'm still hungry. Therefore, each of them decided, okay, half of my food for Bhima, half of my food for Bhima. Yeah. Even then also still is feeling hungry. And then when there is this pastimes of Bhima killing Hidimba, yeah. So this Rakshasa was promised by the villagers that each year in a certain day, so we will give you an offering, a lot of food, along with the person who carried the food to you. You can eat this. Yeah. So they make the agreement because Hidimba used to disturb this village. So instead of his disturbing, so every year they would sacrifice one person from one family just to bring the food and eaten by Hidimba. And then when they stay in this family's house, so the mother was crying at night. And then the Pandavas heard that, why is she crying? And then she told the story, here's the thing, this time is our turn. And then Bhima said, don't worry, I can be sacrificed in this case. So Bhima went to Hidimba, brought his food, but he ate all his food. So Bhima was so happy that finally he got like so much food to be eaten. And at the same time, he killed the Rakshasa. And on top of that, he got married to his sister, Hidimbi. Yeah, anyway, all this pastime will take another time. Yeah, but it's interesting. Okay. So this is the significance of the names here of each person mentioned here. Okay, text number 16 to 18. King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch, the Ananta Vijaya. And Nakula and Sahadev blew the Sugosa and Manipuspaka. The great archer, the king of Kasi, the great fighter Sikandi, Drisajumna, Virata, the unconquerable Satyaki, Drupada, the son of Draupadi, and others, O king, such as the mighty armed son of Subhadra, all blew their respective concerts. Yeah. And then text 19, the blowing of these different concerts became uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. Yeah. Purport. When Bhishma and the others on the sides of Duryodhana blew their respective concerts, there was no heart breaking on the parts of the Pandavas. Such occurrences are not mentioned. But in this particular verse, it is mentioned that the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra were shattered by the sounds vibrated by the Pandavas party. This is due to the Pandavas and their confidence in Lord Krishna. One who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord has nothing to fear, even in the midst of the greatest calamity. Yeah. What is that verse? Rake Krishna, how is that? It's always twist my tongue this verse, you know.
Rakhe Krishna Mare Ki, Mare Krishna
Mare
Rakhe
Krishna
Ki.
Rakhe Ki. Yes. Thank you so much. Yes. One who is protected by Krishna, nobody can kill them. But if Krishna decide to kill somebody, Hare Krishna Rakhe Ki, nobody can protect them. You see, the Pandavas, they remain alive at the end of the battle. Not even one person died, but all the Kauravas died. Yeah. And then the fourth signs of the Pandavas' victories, yeah, we find here in text number 20. Kapidwaja, yeah, he whose flag was marked with Hanuman. Purport: the emblem of Hanuman on the flag of Arjun is another sign of victory because Hanuman cooperated with Lord Ram in the battle between Ram and Ravana, and Lord Ram emerged victorious. Now both Ram and Hanuman were present on the chariot of Arjun to help him. Lord Krishna is Ram himself, and wherever Lord Ram is, his eternal servitor Hanuman and his eternal consort Sita, the goddess of fortune, are present. Okay, so on the flag of Arjuna's chariot, there is this emblem of Hanuman. Now, this also, there is a long story about this flag, how it came there. You know, have you heard this, or should I narrate the story? Yeah, so it's connected actually during the exile time of the Pandava. So one day, Yudhishthira brought a flower to Draupadi. You know, it's beautiful flower that can be gotten only in certain part of a mountain. Yeah, and then Draupadi was so happy getting this flower, and then Bhima, seeing this, that, oh, Draupadi is very happy to receive this flower. And then Bhima offered, would you like to have more of such flower? And Draupadi said, yes. And then Bhima, you know, he was so proud that he walked, he said that, don't worry, I will climb the mountain, the hill, I'll get the flower for you. And then he has big body, his power is like 10,000 of an elephant. You know, it is described that he was breaking many big trees, you know, trample all these trees, and all the animals just flee away, you know. They are afraid of Bhima. And then on the way, so he saw there is a small monkey. Yeah, small monkey was laying down there, and then his body was, you know, blocking the road. And Bhima said that, hey, you monkey, move away, otherwise I will step on your body. This is impolite. And then this monkey said, oh, I'm very old, you know, I'm so tired, I cannot even move. If you want, you can just, you know, step over. Bhima said, no, this is not a good etiquette. He also has a palsy for Bhima. And then this monkey said, okay, you look so powerful, then you can move my tail and it will not block the road, then you can go. And then Bhima said, okay. And then he tried to lift the tail of the monkey, but he could not. And then he tried with full force, but still failed. And finally, Bhima became humble. And then Bhima offered prayers. Oh, my dear monkey, please reveal, who are you? And then this monkey said, Jai Sri Ram. And he became big. And he is Hanuman. Yeah, he is Hanuman. He is the Vayuputra, also another brother of Bhima. And then Hanuman said that actually you will need my help in the future. So don't worry, the battle is actually soon to be happening. So I will come along to help you. So my presence in your brother's chariot is actually a sign, yeah, that I'm present there. My power is present there. Yeah. So that's how actually Hanuman's flag came into, Hanuman's picture came into Arjuna's flag. Yeah. Actually, during this, what do you call, exiles, the Pandavas got so much blessings and so many weapons. Arjuna went to heaven, got so many arrows. Yeah, he got quiver, by which actually this quiver will produce as much as arrows that will not finish, so much actually. Even when Arjuna was cursed by Urvasi, became a eunuch, that's also a blessing. Yeah. Yes, Abhiram Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Abhiram Prabhu. Or he just want to say hello. Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Abhiram Prabhu. Okay. Maybe he raised his hand by mistake. So these are the 4 signs of Arjuna's victory. Okay. Anybody still remember the other 3 signs? Without looking at the note. First is the concept. Second is Madhava, Lord Krishna. And third is the chariot donated by Agni. Yeah. Don't forget, this may come up as the exam question also. Who knows? Okay, let's continue. So we have seen the 4 signs of Pandava's victory. This is a lecture by Srila Prabhupada. Oops. So in the fighting principle, Arjuna is fighting for Krishna. He is following the previous fighting Acharya. Prabhupada said, fighting Acharya, Hanumanji. Therefore, he has depicted his flag with Hanuman, that Hanumanji, Vajrangaji, kindly help me. This is Vaishnavism. I have come here to fight for Lord Krishna. You fought also for the Lord. Kindly help me. This is the idea. Kapi Dwajaha. So any activities of the Vaishnava, they should always pray to the previous Acharya. Kindly help me. Kindly. This is, Vaishnava is always thinking himself helpless. Helpless and begging help from the previous Acharya. Yeah. Anyway, I will not go through this exercise. This can be your homework, I think. Please take a picture of this or make a note of this that you can share in the beginning of the next class. Yeah. Reflects on an incident when Srila Prabhupada was begging for the mercy of the previous acharyas before he departed for America. Yeah. Is that clear? The homework. This is your homework. Yeah. Try to remember any past time that Srila Prabhupada was praying, begging for the mercy of the previous acharyas before he left to America. Yeah. And then here from text 21 to 27, we will see Krishna as Bhaktavatsala, meaning that Krishna is reciprocating with his pure devotee. Krishna appears as the chariot driver of Arjuna, revealing his quality as Bhaktavatsala. Arjuna orders Krishna to place his chariot between 2 armies because he wants to see who is present. Seeing those assembled for battle, Arjuna becomes hesitant to fight. Now here we will see that finally Arjuna became, weak-hearted. His heart became weakened. Yeah. Okay, in the chat section here, Abhiram Prabhu mentioned, my voice is not working. We'll check it, Prabhu, next time. My question is that why the hierarchy of consuls is Krishna, and then Arjuna, Bhima, Yudhishthira Maharaj, and so on. It is not a hierarchy, but it just, okay, if we see also hierarchy, There's nothing wrong here. Krishna is mentioned first, of course, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then Arjun next, because he's the dearest friend amongst all the Pandavas. He's the closest to Krishna and he's on the same chariot. Yeah. And then why Bhima? And next Bhima, why? And then next Yudhishthira. I don't want to speculate. Yeah. Whether there is any intention behind mentioning who is first, who is next. So far I don't find any commentary of the acharyas explaining about this. I think it's just like, okay, Krishna first, and then Arjuna, and then Bhima, and then Yudhishthira, and all other kshatriyas. So I think, I don't know why. Yeah, I don't want to speculate. Or anybody have come across some explanation? Is there some hierarchy, or it just mentioned like that? Yeah, it is not the same thing as how Duryodhana mentioned, like, okay, Drona, Bhisma, Karna, and then other kshatriyas. This is not a diplomacy. It's just Sanjaya's narration to Dhritarashtra Maharaj that how they blew the concerts. Yeah, that's it. Okay, Bhaktavatsala. Krishna is Bhaktavatsala. He is reciprocating with his devotees. Yeah. Text number 21 and 22. And so here, Sanaya Ubayor Madhye Ratham Stapayame Achyuta. Lord Krishna is addressed here by Arjuna by the name Achyuta, meaning the infallible. So Arjuna said, "O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies, so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms." Yeah. Senayor Ubhayor Madhye. Madhye means in the middle. Yeah. Ratham Stapayami Achyuta. Please drag my chariot between the two armies, because Arjuna wants to see, yeah, who are there. Purport: although Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, out of his causeless mercy, he was engaged in the service of his friend. He never fails in his affection for his devotees. Thus, he is addressed herein as infallible. He takes greater pleasure in his pure devotees, assuming the advantageous position of ordering him than he does in being the giver of orders. Yeah, this is called the Bhaktavatsala. So what we understand here, if we become pure devotee, we purchase Krishna. We purchase Krishna. There is a verse that Advaita Acharya found in the Gautamya Tantra. Yeah, it is described that Tulasi dalamatreva jalasya chulukenava vikrineta swam atmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsala. So in Gautamya Tantra it is described that if one worship the Lord or Salagram Sila, with a tulasi leaf, tulasi dalamatreva jalasya chulukenava, and little water to do the abhishek. So vikrineta swam atmanam. Krishna promised that Bikri, I will sell myself to that devotee. Vikrineta swamatmanam. That means Krishna is purchased by the devotees who simply offer tulasi leaf and little water. Vikrineta swamatmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsala. Because Krishna is ready to reciprocate with his devotees and he doesn't want to be indebted. Krishna doesn't want to be indebted. Yeah. Chanakya Pandit mentioned there are two, how I say this, two signs of a person who can be happy. One, he has no debt. Yeah. Second, his digestion is working properly. That's what Chanakya said. Yeah. So Krishna doesn't want to be indebted. If you offer something a little bit to Krishna, immediately he wants to reciprocate. Yeah. So Bhaktebhyo Bhaktavatsalaha. And Prabhupada mentioned here very interestingly that Krishna loved to be ordered by his pure devotees. He takes greater pleasure rather than he's ordering his pure devotees, his devotees. Yeah. So it is described during the battle. Anyway, we have 3 minutes. I don't know what can I say. It is described in the battle of Kurukshetra because so much noise, so much screaming, and then this weapon clashing, And then when Arjuna asked Krishna that please go to the right side, go to the left side, or go straight, Krishna could not hear it properly. And then Krishna just tired and stopped. And Krishna told Arjun, Arjun, I cannot hear anything from your mouth. So please don't say, if you want me to turn to the right side, you kick my right shoulder. If you want me to turn to the left side, you kick my left shoulder. If you want me to go straight, just kick my back. That's it. And Krishna is taking great pleasure by being kicked by Arjuna. Yeah, because he couldn't hear anything, too much noise. So Bhaktavad Salaha, he reciprocated. Therefore, he is addressed here as Achyuta, the infallible. He never failed, including becoming the servant of his servant. Yeah. Otherwise, if he fails to become the servant of Arjuna, he is not Achyuta. Yeah. So that's the significance of that name here. Okay. And then Arjuna said this in the next text. Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. So basically, here it is in the text 24, yeah, Gudakesa. Anyway, we have discussed about that, why he's called Gudakesa. Yeah, he can control sleep. So Partha Pashyaitan Samavetan Kuruniti. Yeah. Just behold, Partha. Here, Lord Krishna mentioned to Arjuna that just see, Arjuna, you asked me to bring your chariot in the middle of between the two armies. But actually, within Krishna's mind, he understands that what will happen to Arjuna. Therefore, jokingly, Krishna mentioned, just see who are here. What is the point of seeing all these great armies and finally you will lament? There is no point you ask me to bring you in the middle of the army because you will lament. Okay, please read in details up to text number 27. Our time is up. And for your information, we will not have class on the Tuesday. It will be a great festival, Vijayadashami. So I will be doing a lot of stuff, like crazy day. And I don't know, like morning I'm doing yagya and then 10 o'clock I have to go to Ganga. One devotee asked me to purge the ash of their passed away relatives. And then in the evening at 6 o'clock I'm doing another yagya. I don't know what time I'll finish. So even if I finish before 8 also, I will not have any energy to give the class. So we will skip our Tuesday class. Please kindly read the rest of chapter 1. Next Sunday, we will complete chapter 1. Yeah. And yes, I would like to take your attendance here. Let me just take a picture who are present here. Because I don't want to be too loose as your teacher. Otherwise, you will take me so lightly. Oh, he doesn't care. I'm present. I'm not present. Anyway, of course, some devotees already informing that they will not be able to be present in the class. That's acceptable. Okay, thank you very much, all the devotees. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So no class.